Hello everybody, it's the 2nd of July 2020 and I'm going to confess at the outset that this video has nothing whatsoever to do with Gardner engines. It's a simple bit of indulgence on my part. I'd like to talk to you about Primus stoves. They're just another one of my passions. They've got something in keeping with the Gardner because they kind of spring from the same kind of technology and the same kind of approach. The Primus stove was invented, I think in the mid 1800s by a chap in Sweden. So this is not British technology, this is Swedish technology. I'm going to keep talking as I'm going to keep assembling as I talk to you. Now, there's two main models that you'll come across. One is the pint size, which is this one here, and the other one is the half pint size, which is this one. I'll assemble that now shortly. I'm going to try lighting this stove as I speak to you. So we just pour a little bit of meths in the bottom here into the meths cup. You don't really need meths. You can use paraffin as well, but the meths is just cleaner. Just going to wipe away a bit of that mess there that I spilt. Okay, get our lighter and lighter up. So, as that's heating up now, I'm going to try and explain to you how it works. We've got a simple little barrel reservoir here of paraffin. We've got a little plunger pump here which will pressurize this barrel. The paraffin fuel then is forced under pressure up this tube here and around these little tubes here and emerges at the top. But as it comes up, it's heated by the flame. So the paraffin then vaporizes. And the paraffin vapor, once it's ignited, once it's lit, burns at a very high temperature. Okay, you might say, why go to all this bother? You can just light a modern gas stove instantly. Okay, first of all, a Primus will light down to minus 30 degrees C. It's very, very simple, very, very reliable. They actually found Scott's original Primus whenever they found his camp in the Arctic, or was it the Antarctic, I'm not too sure, and the Primus stove was still working. They fired it up and it still worked after all those years lying out in the snow. A Primus stove, by virtue of the heat generated by the vaporized paraffin, will boil, a good Primus stove will boil a pint of water in about 2 minutes. So they're fierce hot. Those are the wee legs that go on just for holding the pot. I'm a very keen cyclist and I use Primus stoves all the time when I go camping or even on Sunday runs. Now there's two types of burners. Now this one's about to light. I hope she's going to behave herself. That's it. She's lit. Isn't that beautiful? What attracts me about them is that they're like the Gardner engine in that each one has its own personality. There's not two of them the same. They've all got their own little quirks. This is a particularly good one here. It's a wee bit heavy for cycling at a pint, but if you're going away for a few weeks, it's good. So there's another type of burner. This one is called the roarer, this particular burner. You can hear the sound of it there. This one, I can get the cap off. I can't get the cap. But this one's called the lipstick type. Do you see that? It's just a simple tube with a tiny little hole at the top, but it works exactly the same way. You put mats here in the bottom and away you go. That's from the half pint. This is a 210. See, can you make that out? Primus 210. Okay. This one is a number 96. Okay, another very important point about the Primus stove is it's one of the few stoves out there where you can actually regulate the flame. You can increase the flame by increasing the pressure, and you can decrease the flame by simply opening that little valve there, and you can turn it down to really quite a low heat. So you can perform quite a nice, you prepare quite a nice meal on this stove. My wife and I have produced, like, you know, good 3-part meat, veg, potatoes on a stove like this, out in the middle of a field somewhere, without too much bother. Now, another variation on that is this stove. This one is called a number 4. Now, I will confess there's a wee gauze part missing at the top here, but this stove is working well. Now, this stove would have been, back in the 1940s and 1950s, it would have been a revolution for housewives in Britain and in continental Europe, all over the world, an absolute revolution. Because before this stove, they would have been using solid fuel. They'd have been using coal and wood to cook on. This gives them a very hot stove where you could regulate the flame, very, very economic. The fuel is readily available. Even for camping, we find that you'll get paraffin anywhere, really, certainly anywhere in Ireland or anywhere in England, you'll find paraffin. A lot of farmers, you just go up to a farmer and they have paraffin just sitting in a drum, and they'll give you a pint for nothing. You can't do that with the gas canisters. It's not everywhere that you'll get them. Another point about this stove, I know it looks very dramatic and all, but people are always afraid, oh, it'll go on fire or it'll explode. That'll not happen. If it does flame up, you just open this little valve here and the flame will die down straight away. If it happens to go on fire, you can just throw a cap on top of it or something and it'll go out straight away. No problem. So they're very, very safe, very, very simple to use. The whole idea of the Primus sprang from the blow lamp. Now, I don't have a blow lamp, but its first cousin, of course, is the tilly lamp. This works on the same principle. You have a little pump here, you have a valve here. I'll confess I'm not quite so into tilly lamps as I am into Primuses, because I don't have any call for a tilly lamp out of my bike. So that's it. I just wanted to shoot that little video on the Primus stove. It's another one of my my vocations in life, perhaps, to promote the Primus stove. Thank you so much.